Bounce back time for Bama as they take on Ole Miss on the road. Talking tied with Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama. You got to join him right there, touchdownalabama.com. And of course, his show, In My Own Words, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right here on YouTube. That's at 6 Central. Stephen, let's dive right into it. What do you think was the most important component to that LSU game? What do you think was the biggest factor in that Bama loss?
I think the biggest factor, Mark, to me was just how Brian Kelly had the Tigers prepared. He had a week to prepare for the matchup, and he had those guys believing flat out, ready to play from Jayden Daniels on down. And a couple of things I can point to would be, LSU's former walk-on running back, Josh Williams. There were several plays where he is met in the backfield by an Alabama linebacker, whether that be Henry To'o or Jalen Moody, and he just refused to be denied. I mean, fighting through tackles, keeping himself upright, the contact balance, refusing to go down, keeping his legs moving, just plowing through guys, and just the fight. I mean, LSU showed up ready for a fight. They wanted to fight, and they gave it to Alabama, in which Alabama on the opposite end, defensively, it came out very well in the first half, but the struggles on offense where it just continues to be people sort of looking around and waiting on Bryce Young to bail it out. It's not the key to success right now. And even Bryce over the weekend looked like he didn't even look like himself. Uncharacteristically not accurate. Is it the shoulder still bothering him? Coach Saban says it's not. He played against LSU on last week, but it just seems like something was off there because Bryce skipped passes into the ground, was not targeting guys with pinpoint accuracy as he usually does, but still found ways to fight through it. I just chalk it up to LSU. Brian Kelly said the week of the game, I came to LSU because I want a shot at Nick Saban. I want my shot here to get this win. And he had his Tigers prepared to play.
And now we've got a situation that Alabama's not accustomed to. They most likely are outside of the college football playoff. I know that people are devising all sorts of scenarios and ways in which they can play themselves back into it. And it does exist. Three-way ties get into the SEC championship game. It does exist, but it's a long shot. So now the team has to kind of reset, refocus. Are you getting a feel for where Coach Saban and the staff and the players are in regards to just kind of resetting and trying to finish strong?
Well, right now, the idea would be for the players is the older guys getting the younger guys to understand there's still something to play for. Yes, we understand that with the college football playoff, the idea is, okay, if you're not in the top 4 seeds, or at least in the top 6, when you discuss New Year's Six Bowl, what are you actually playing for? But at the same time, guys like Byron Young and older guys on this defense are saying, hey, we still have 3 games left of this regular season slate, and then, a bowl game that we have to prepare for. So making sure the young guys don't lose heart in that aspect. But I think for Coach Saban, the key is getting back to a consistent rhythm offensively. This offense has not been in rhythm all year. And whether it's been a lack of trust in the run game, whether it's been not having the consistent pass protection, whether it's been receivers dropping passes, not understanding the route concepts, not getting open, creating separation, it's been a mixture of several things that culminate into this offense is out of sync. And I mentioned here, Mark, that they look at Bryce Young as if to say, can you bail us out? And Bryce Young is special, but Bryce Young is one guy. He needs the help of everybody else around him. And then defensively, it's simplifying things. I mean, Pete Golden at times is having this look of exotic plays, but you got to simplify the things down for these young men that they can just go out there, run around, have fun, making plays out there on the field. I've been told that a lot of this anxiety that Nick Saban has been speaking about here recently in these press conferences is Now, the players are not necessarily trusting the game planning of Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding. That they're not really trusting, what's going on there, with that. So simplifying things from a coaching standpoint, first and foremost, and number two, in terms of the players, the older guys getting the younger guys to understand there's still much to play for here where this season is concerned, and having the complete buy-in from everybody, just seeing how we're living in a completely different culture of college football now.
We got our guy, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama, here to talk Tide as they travel to Oxford to take on SEC Western Division rival Ole Miss. You can catch Stephen every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 Central. Get here on YouTube in my own words. Look it up in my own words right here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 Central. Lane Kiffin has a reputation for creative game plans, creating mismatches in space. People don't realize that Ole Miss is run heavy and has been for about 3 years. They run the football a ton and effectively. They put up 448 on the ground against Auburn, and they really start there in regards to their offensive effectiveness.
They do, Mark. It's crazy how, for as much play action shots and deep vertical passing game and eye candy that Lane Kiffin likes to do, a lot of that hinges off of run plays. Like he'll line up in the shotgun and you think it's a pass, but it's a run. And he's been highly effective with that, whether it was with Jerry Ely, Snoop Connor, having those running type of plays for Matt Corral as a quarterback. He's now got Jackson Dart, who's improved each week throughout the season. So, Alabama's got to be gap assignment oriented this week. You got to shoot your gap. You got to dissect where that ball is going to, attack the guy with the ball as well as the ball. But with Lane Kiffin, you also can't be over eager in your pursuit because there are cutback lanes involved. And once that Ole Miss hits those cutback lanes, they can be very difficult also. And of course, the last time Alabama played Mississippi and Oxford, Lane Kiffin put up 48 points in that matchup in 2020. Now, of course, Steve Sarkisian in Alabama dropped 63, but Lane Kiffin still had the 48 there. So Nick Saban knows what Kiffin's capable of. Kiffin has always been highly respectful of Coach Saban. We've seen this with Kiffin's magic there on Twitter. But Kiffin also knows I'm trying to be the third former assistant coach under Coach Saban, joining the likes of Kirby Smart and Jimbo Fisher to get the win here over Coach Saban. So no easy task here for the Crimson Tide, even though the line on this game, as you just put it up here, Mark, Alabama by 11.5. That's not going to be that's going to be a tall order by all sense of the imagination. But what Kiffin loves to do, he's going to still take his deep shots, but he starts it off in the run game. Alabama's discipline, which has been a huge issue this season, has to find itself to be on point this game in Oxford.
That line was at least a full touchdown at Neyland Stadium and 13.5 at Death Valley. So we'll keep that in mind as well. Facing a smaller crowd, but still a very enthusiastic throng there at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Got Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama on the line. And I always like to hit you with this one, Stephen. X factors from a personnel standpoint on both sides of the ball against Ole Miss.
First off, defensively, got to see Jordan Battle. I mean, we've not seen him make those game-changing plays this season. He's made tackles, sure. He's made big hits, but he hasn't had those game-changing plays that we grew accustomed to him making, whether it was last season or throughout his career. So want to see more in this game from Jordan Battle, a young man that had big hopes of becoming a first-round draft pick in the 2023 venue, but just have not seen much from him. So he's got to be an X factor in this game defensively. Offensively, an X factor to me, Cameron Latu. You got to get the tight ends more involved in this matchup. And you look at it, in years past, when Ole Miss has played Alabama, you think the tight ends have gotten involved in this history of this game. O.J. Howard got involved in recent years in this game. Irv Smith has been involved where Alabama is concerned. where Ole Miss is concerned, Evan Ingram has gotten involved. Dawson Knox has gotten involved. So this has been a series where the tight ends have had a bit of a say. And for Cameron Latu, a young man of whom Jim Nagy, senior executive director for the Reese's Senior Bowl, and his staff had Latu listed as one of the 12 guys on watching list for Alabama. I definitely want to see Latu get even more involved here as an X factor, as a guy that create mismatches there against opposing defenses when Alabama takes on Ole Miss.
He is Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama. You see the Twitter handle right there, Coaching M. Smith, also touchdownalabama.com. In My Own Words is his show right here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 Central. Stephen, enjoy the game. I assume you're headed out to Oxford to take this one in.
I'm headed out to Oxford, man. I leave out Saturday morning. Looking forward to getting down to the Bart Hemingway as always. It's fun to get a chance to look at the Manning Way facility. It's fun to get a chance to look at what Lane Kiffin's trying to carve up, and gonna take in the wildness as always that is the Grove. And I always tend to get lost from down there, so we'll try not to get lost this time.